I am 97 years old, and I have never been more at peace than I am right now. But it didn't happen by accident. It happened because I threw things away. Not furniture, not photographs, habits, the invisible ones that had been eating me alive for decades without me even knowing it. And if you are over 70 and you still feel like something is wrong, like the peace everyone promises you at this age never arrived, it is probably because you are still carrying habits that were supposed to be gone by now. If you feel tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix, if you feel heavy even when nothing specific is wrong, this is for you, because I carried these 5 habits into my 70s, and they nearly stole everything from me. My sleep, my joy, my final years with my husband. I am not going to let them steal yours. I grew up in a house where you never sat still, where rest was laziness and worry was responsibility, where a good woman was a busy woman and a quiet afternoon meant you were failing somebody. That is where these habits were born, and they followed me through every decade like shadows I couldn't shake, until I decided at 74 that I'd rather lose the habits than lose what was left of my life. So let me tell you what I threw away and what I found underneath. Number 1, the habit of keeping score. Who called and who didn't? Who remembered your birthday and who forgot? Who visited last month and who hasn't visited in a year? Who owes you and who you owe? I kept score my entire life. Every kindness I gave, I wrote down in my head. Every slight I received, I filed away. And by the time I was 70, my mind was a ledger full of debts nobody else even knew about. My daughter didn't call me on Mother's Day in 1993. I still remembered it 30 years later. 30 years of carrying a phone call that never came. And one day I asked myself, what is this costing me? Not what it cost her, what it is costing me to keep holding it. And the answer was everything. It was costing me everything. Throw the scoreboard away. Nobody's winning. And the only person it is hurting is you. The people who love you aren't keeping count. And the people who are keeping count don't love you the way you think they do. Real love doesn't keep a ledger. It just shows up quietly, without expecting a receipt. Number 2, the habit of worrying about what people think of you, what the neighbors think, what your sister thinks, what the women at church think, whether your house is clean enough, your yard neat enough, your grandchildren well-behaved enough. I spent 50 years performing for people who weren't even paying attention, ironing tablecloths nobody noticed, sending thank you cards within 24 hours because someone might think I was rude, wearing lipstick to the grocery store in case I ran into someone from church. And then one morning, I was 76. I went to the store in my slippers, not on purpose, I just forgot, and nothing happened. Nobody cared. The world kept turning. That was the day I started letting go. Not all at once, but slowly, one opinion at a time. And I can tell you from the other side, the freedom is extraordinary. You wouldn't believe how light you feel when you stop carrying other people's expectations. At 70, you've earned the right to stop performing. Let them think whatever they want. You've got better things to do with your time, like actually living. And here is what nobody tells you, the people whose opinions you are worried about. Most of them are too busy worrying about their own lives to spend even 5 minutes thinking about yours. But this next one might sting, because it is the one we've all been taught is a virtue. Number 3, the habit of doing everything yourself, cooking every holiday meal, cleaning the entire house before anyone visits, handling every bill, every appointment, every crisis, every phone call, because you've always been the one who handles things. I was the family engine for 40 years. If something needed doing, I did it. If someone needed help, they called me. I wore it like a badge. I was proud of how much I could carry, and then my body told me to stop. My knees went first, then my back. Then the exhaustion that no amount of coffee could fix, and I had to choose between my pride and my health. I chose my health, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done, harder than any grief, because asking for help felt like admitting I was finished. But I wasn't finished. I was just finally honest. You don't have to do it all. You never did. That was a story you told yourself because nobody else volunteered and you were too tired to argue. But the story is over now. Let someone else carry the dishes. The strongest thing I ever did wasn't carrying everything alone. It was setting it down and trusting someone else to pick it up. Stay with me. This one is important because this habit is the quietest thief of them all. Number 4, the habit of replaying the past. The argument you had with your mother in 1968. The thing you said to your daughter that you can't take back. The marriage you should have left earlier. The career you never pursued. The apology you never received. I replayed my mistakes like a broken record. Every night, same scenes, same regret, same ending. And every morning I woke up exhausted from a night spent living in decades that were already gone. Here is what I've learned in 97 years. The past is not a place you can visit. It is a story you tell yourself. And every time you tell it, you choose which version to believe. You can tell the version where you failed, or you can tell the version where you survived. Both are true, but only one of them lets you sleep at night. Let the past close its own door. You've walked through enough of them. It is time to stand still in the room you are actually in. And here is what nobody tells you. This last habit is the hardest one to throw away because it feels like the most responsible thing you do. Number 5, the habit of bracing for the worst, always waiting for the other shoe to drop, always scanning for danger, always assuming that if things are good right now, something bad must be coming. Because in your experience, it always does. I lived in a permanent state of bracing. When my children were healthy, I worried they'd get sick. When my marriage was peaceful, I waited for the fight. When I had money in the bank, I imagined it disappearing. I was so busy preparing for disaster that I missed the ordinary beauty happening right in front of me. Sunsets I didn't see because I was worrying about tomorrow. Conversations I barely heard because I was rehearsing worst. Case scenarios in my head. My husband said to me once, he said, "Helen, you are so busy being afraid of the storm that you are missing the sunshine." And he was standing right there in it, holding out his hand. And I almost didn't see him. The worst will come when it comes, it always does. But you don't have to live there before it arrives. You're allowed to be happy without waiting for it to be taken away. Throw that habit away, not because bad things won't happen, but because the good things are happening right now. and they deserve your attention more than your fear does. Every minute you spend dreading tomorrow is a minute you stole from today, and today was trying to give you something beautiful, if only you'd let it. So that is what I threw away: the scorekeeping, the performing, the doing it all alone, the replaying, and the bracing 5 habits, 5 thieves, and every single one of them was disguised as something useful. That is how they get you. They look like responsibility. They look like strength. They look like love, but they're not. They're just old patterns running on a loop because nobody ever gave you permission to stop. So I am giving you permission. Right now, stop keeping score. Stop performing. Stop carrying everything alone. Stop replaying what you can't change. And stop bracing for a storm that might never come. You've earned the right to sit down to breathe, to look at the sky without wondering when it is going to fall. I am 97, and the peace I have now didn't come from getting more. It came from throwing things away. The right things, the heavy things, the things I should have set down decades ago. If this reached you today, leave me a comment. Tell me which habit you are going to throw away first. Say it out loud, because naming it is the first step to releasing it. And I promise you, on the other side of those habits, there is a peace so deep and so quiet, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. Take care of yourself, sweetheart, and throw away everything that is standing between you and your peace.